Okay, so I was working on the Skydome and the AI Sky Shader and just found it to be very confusing in a couple different things. So I want to make a quick tutorial the best I can. I am a total newbie for this, but this is pretty straightforward once you see it, and it's like, okay. So anyway, I just got a blank scene here, and what I'm going to do, let's just do this first. Let's just add a plane. I'm going to add a simple plane here, and it's kind of just following what the tutorial was saying here. I'm just going to make this plane just about the size of this, and there we go. Okay, now I'm going to quickly add a couple little spheres to this, just so we can get some reflections and kind of see some stuff here. Let me make another one. None of this has to be perfect. Let's rotate it a little bit. Okay. So there's going to be our scene, and right now there's really only the default lighting on here. Let's just see what an IPR of this stands for. So this is the I forget what this stands for, but it brings up the auto renderer of Arnold. So anyway, you can see there's nothing here. If I do a full render, there's nothing there. It's all black. It's because there's no lighting in the scene. Even default lighting isn't even there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a Skydome here, and to do that, a couple different ways. You can just go to the Arnold tab, click Lights and Skydome, or you can very easily do it right from the Hypershade window here, and just go down to Arnold Light, Skydome Light. So either way you want to do it, you can do it either way. I'm just going to do it from here, so I don't have to deal with that other hyper tab. So when you can pop this in there and you get that, you see this huge sphere come out here. If I zoom out, there it is. And right now it should have some lighting in there, but it'll just be this generic white. So let's just open up the IPR again, and we'll see if it renders a scene. Okay, there it is. Boring, but it works. We now have light being, so this whole white ball is like white on the inside. So let's just make some quick shaders for the two balls here, and what we'll do is we'll just open up the Hypershade window, and or we can just right click. So we select that and right click on it. We can assign new material right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I selected the ball, and then I right clicked on it and held it down. I'm still holding down my right mouse button as I assign new material. I'm gonna let go. Okay, and what I want to do here is make a simple shader, an Arnold shader, and I'm going to use the AI standard. So now I have the new shader there, and again I could be doing this in the Hypershade window just as easily. And what we're going to do here is we're going to drop the weight on this one, and we'll make the specular nice and, is it specular I want to do? Yeah, we'll make that, and then we'll drop the roughness down here too. So this will just be a nice shiny ball right now. And then over here we'll just make this a, so I've got that selected. I'm going to right click again. I'm going to go down here to assign new material. I'm going to let go of the right mouse button. I'm going to go to the Arnold shader. I'm going to make another standard right here, and I might as well call this just the matte, and then I'll change the other name in a second. So this one we'll just make it a color. What the heck, I'll just make it well, you know, let's just leave it white. Just leave it white, and that's fine. I'll just leave it at the default values. So let me go back over here again, and I'm just going to change that AI standard 1. Now if you don't see these up here, make sure you're in the attribute editor. Okay, so I'm going to hit AI standard 1, and I'm just going to change this to chrome, and that way, and if you go to the Hypershade, there's the chrome and then there's the matte. So that's all it is. Okay, so in here I've got, so now we got the IPR going for that, and there we can see we've got some reflection there. Now I'm not going to look at it in here. Let me just pop this, close that out, and I'm going to go to Arnold, render view, and so there we go. We've got the nice shiny ball there. Now the thing is since the whole dome is just emitting white light, that's how we see is that white reflection there, and this is from the floor, right, from the grid. And if you don't like this dots too, I mean, that's easy to change. It's just go to the settings, go to Arnold renderer, and just you can turn this up a few, and it'll clean it up. It'll clean it up more. Just a little longer render times. But what we're going to do is now we're going to add a texture to this map. So let me just shrink this down a little bit. Oops, we're going to add an HDR, I should say. So we'll shrink that down and close that out. So now let's just go to the dome light, the Skydome, okay? And with the Skydome selected, you're going to see the Skydome light shape there, okay? So here's the rotation parameters. We'll get to that in a second. But here's the actual light. Now, right now it's the color white, so we're going to hit this little checkerboard thing right there. And that's going to allow us to change it from white to something else. So we're going to click that once with the left mouse button. I'm going to hit File. So this should come up by default. It's in one of these 4 options here. But the File option is what I want. I'm going to left click once. And now this other file has been placed into it. So now the file is going to feed the look, the color, instead of being white. So I have to choose an image name down here. So I'm going to click this, and I've already downloaded a Tropical Beach HDR, which I'll show you where I got here in a second. So I'm going to choose this 3K HDR file. I'm going to click that just once with the left mouse button. There it is. I'm going to hit open. I could have double clicked it just as easily. And look how nice that is. Okay, so that's going to show up here. And we're not going to see the sample there. I got to go back one. I got to go up. So I hit that button there. That doesn't. I thought it showed it in the actual. Oh, well, anyway, I know it shows it here, but I thought it actually showed the. Let me go into Hypershade here. Yeah, there it shows it. So there's the real nice image of the HDR. Now you'll see that that looks a little odd. The sky is too blue, the trees are too dark. So what you have to do for this type is you have to go down here and you have to change. And I don't know if you can do this from the other screen or not. I think you can. Yeah, you can because you chose the file there. So let me just do everything over there. Well, no, let's do this here so you can see it. So I go down to this color space option and I just scroll up a little bit and I choose raw. So when I choose raw, now that looks more normal. I guess it would depend on the look you were going for, but I'd rather go with what the HDR was supposed to do and make it all right. This filter type doesn't seem to do anything whether I change it or not. See, it still, to me, it looks the same. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is a little cleaner around the trees there. But anyway, this will look good, and that's that for the file. So now if we do an IPR here, it should look different. Now it's converting this HDR file into a file that Maya likes, is what I believe. So there we go. Now we've got that nice reflection there. Now you got to remember, I'm doing this render view from 2 different places. I'm doing this in here in the Hypershade window, but I actually like it better on the other file. So so here we are. If the Hypershade is open again. Arnold. Oops, I'm sorry. You can just do it right here from the Arnold tab there. You can click the render view. So that's what we have. And the other thing too is this resolution. It says in the literature, the Maya literature, that the documents that this should be the resolution of your file. If you are really, really specific about, I think it was. I don't remember if it was reflections or something, but for a lot of the times you can actually leave this at 1000. This is by default, even if the resolution is higher. And this file, I believe, is a 3K file. By the way, where I got it, and this is the tutorial I was doing. I got this from hdrlabs.com, and this SIBL stands for something. It stands for Smart Image Based Lighting. And anyway, you just go to HDR Labs and this right here, Smart ILB, and you go to the archive. I think that goes right to it. But anyway, you'll find all these different options there. And you scroll down and you will find the Tropical Beach. And that's it. So let me just see if that works. I'm going to click Smart SLI. Okay, so it did not do that. Anyway, well, this is the page you want to go to. The archive, SBL archive. Maybe that was there. Yeah, it was there. So even if you go to Smart SBL, you just go to the archive, and that's what you want. So there you can download those. And I really didn't look at the wow, look at all the stuff they got there. Anyway, I'll let you take a look at that. I'm just doing a tutorial here and promoting their site here, so hopefully this is all okay. But anyway, that's where I got the free HDR, and now you can see the reflecting in here. So on the other sphere we have it's just the diffuse. There's no reflection in there at all, right? So that's not going to have any reflections at all from our area light, from our Skydome. But why don't we see it in the back here? Okay, you see it here, but you don't see it here. So in order to get it to actually show up in the render view, you have to add another. You have to add another lighting system here. And I'll show you this. It's not really. It's partially a lighting system, partially not. So let me show you how that works. But what I first want to show you is how to change the rotation of this. So you're going to find this kind of cool. Hopefully they'll change this in the next update. But if I just hold down my Alt key and then scrub here, I can rotate this around to different views, right? And obviously you'll see the reflection change as I rotate this. But what if you didn't want to rotate the scene, but wanted to rotate the sphere? So the way you do that is you just you select the Skydome, and you can literally just use the transform over here, the transform rotation tool, and you can rotate this. But you'll see that it doesn't rotate in the screen, but it will rotate once I let go. It should rotate over here. Something got froze up. Oh, updating Arnold scene, it says. Okay, didn't seem to be working. Anyway, what you do is you can rotate that, and you can see the rotation change actually in this sphere. And that's what I wanted to show you before I added this other issue. There we go. So, okay, so I think that's a different look. Let me try it again here. By the way, to see it in this screen, just pull up the different viewports. So if you pull up a different viewport, you can actually see this rotation happening. Okay, so I kind of want this pointing to the water there. And so therefore the trees are behind me, and that's what you're seeing in the reflection. So this is reflecting the trees behind me. If I rotated this exactly 180 degrees the other way, I'd probably see the ocean scene. So, but anyway, let's not worry about that for the second. Obviously, if I'm looking at the ocean there, the trees are behind me, right? That's the way the scene is, because we're on the beach. But what we're going to do now, I just wanted you to see how to do that, because that was confusing me. It's like I was trying to rotate it, and I was looking for some other way to rotate it over here, and it wouldn't work. It just wasn't working on me. So you see how this is changing there as I rotate this? Let's go all the way behind. I think I'm looking on the beach now. Yeah, okay, so that's the scene I'm trying to look at there. I'm trying to look between those two trees there. So as I get this rotated over, yeah, those are the two trees, and then there's the open ocean. So it clearly doesn't like me doing all this rotating, but you get the point here, and that's how you set that up. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to add the aisky, and whatever that stands for, but it's going to be the background here. So this actually shows up in the render, and it's going to contribute some partial lighting, and so we got to turn that off. So how you do that? You just go in here and how do you do that again? Oh yeah. So this is actually in the render settings. So click on this little tab here to go to the render settings again. Remember how I turned that up to get a little bit better clarity here. You go down to this environment tab here, and I know very little about this Arnold render system. Still learning it, so don't think I know what I'm doing other than these few little things here. I have taken some tutorials on these features here and the ray depth stuff, but I need to learn more. So anyway, what you want to do is go down to the environment background and click this little shader here, and this pops up. And then what I want to do is create a sky shader. So when I create this is going to come up with this crazy thing called the AI sky, and you'll see here my entire thing changed dramatically. So the first thing we're going to do, you'll notice that it's really blowing out here. I'm first going to go in and make it look like the background that we have here. So let's go into the color channel here, or the color thing, and we're going to hit the checkerboard effect. And we're going to select the file again, and we're going to select the folder so that we can select the same HDR image, and that way they both match up. So I'm going to hit open again. Okay, so now we actually see the background in the render. Okay, but you notice something maybe a little weird right here. There's two suns, because, and I'm glad this happened. My rotation here on my Skydome is showing up in the reflection, and my AI, or my AI Sky, which is it's in this transform node right here. You see AI Sky? My AI Sky is also contributing to the reflections and something else, which we got to turn off here. So let's go down here and do that. So go to the AI Sky, and I'll bring this over here. And let's see, how do I do that again? Nope. So let me pause here and remember how to do that. Okay, it was in this render stats. So I'm in the AI Sky and right in the render stats, and what I want to do is I want to turn these two off. And the reason being is because it's, well, it's showing up twice. So if I just turn these off, I lost one of the suns there. Now, unless you want two suns and you want extra contribution to the diffuse and the glossy, then leave both those checked. See which one did it? The glossy one is the one that added the extra sun. Yeah, see that? So that was really confusing to me. People were trying to describe that to me in the forums. I'm like, what? I just didn't get it. And this one guy actually did it for me. I'm so appreciative. I'm going to do another tutorial and give him a lot of credit for helping me. But so you turn this off. So the AI Sky then, you basically just want it for the background. But you also want it to line up, and it's not lined up. So how do you line it up? Well, that's pretty easy. All you do is you go to the Skydome, and we're gonna make the transform on the AI Sky, the three rotation values, equal the transform on the Skydome. So if we go to the Skydome, we have this, because this is from me rotating it with the transform tool, with the rotation tool here. But so this is 164. I'm just going to make this 164. And then we're going to go over to the AI Sky, which is in this transform, AI Sky. But I don't need to go there. I just need to go to the transform for the AI Sky. And I'm going to do, what was it, 144? 164. So 164 here, make this 164. Hit enter. And now everything is lined up. So my background now matches up with the reflections. And if we so wanted to go down here into the AI Sky, render stats, and add the, check this again, this should all get brighter. Let's just see. And there you go. So you get to see how you don't want the contribution to the glossy twice. So you don't want both images reflecting. So that's why you have to turn this off. Visible and diffuse, let's see if that really makes a difference. It doesn't look like it makes a difference. Oh yeah, duh. You can see how the whole bottom gets a lot brighter. See that? See how the whole bottom there gets a lot brighter? So you want the diffuse off, and you want the visible and glossy off, and then that makes it the actual thing that you want. And that's how you do that. It's pretty neat, but you got to understand the difference between the Skydome and this AI Sky, and boy, that threw me for a loop for a while. And as you know, the reason I make these tutorials is not only to help you, but as I know this helps others. Whenever I get something figured out, I like to share it, but also so that I can remember it. So if I forget how to do this, I don't go, how did I do that again? And then waste a lot of time trying to remember it. So that is it. I don't think there's anything more to show with this. The only weird thing was that when you're making these using these HDRs, you got to make sure that the format is correct, because some of these can be mirrored balls. They can have different types of HDR files, and that's kind of critical to understand. And then this is actually how the lighting actually works. So if you're trying to improve the lighting attributes, you can go and change it in here versus changing it all in here. And so these are connected somehow, I believe. So again, I don't hold me to that. And then you can change the exposures here too if you need more brightness from these images. But again, just make sure you have the one you want, because if you want the look here to be a little bit brighter, that's the AI sky. That's here. Okay, so and this doesn't really have this would just turn up the intensity of the background. I mean, if we just bump this up, you'll see how that eventually starts blowing out. Okay, so that's that one. But then the dome, that you're generally going to change the exposure, and you'll notice the background I don't think will change here in color, but you'll start seeing more brightness in here as you bump this up. See, that's just getting brighter there, but the background isn't changing. So all those different things, and I think that'll do it. Hopefully I covered everything you wanted to cover. Thanks for listening.